Out here working on the Ranger. My wife was out here and so was my daughter. We've all been working on this, but we ended up taking a break and now family came over, so they're inside with family, and I need to try and get this finished up. What my wife had been doing is she's in here, or was in here, digging the rest of the wires out of the back, all the excess wiring that was all in the walls and everything. We're gonna pull all this out so we can start fresh, rewire the wires up to the speakers on both sides, and get this cleaned up and get the light for the dome light rewired back up and whatnot. But what you actually probably clicked on this for was for the rack and pinion. This is a 2000 Ford Ranger. This one is actually bagged, previously bagged, not by me. Most of all this work, the grill and all this is all done by somebody else. The suspension work was done by somebody else. All of the paint, all of the suspension work and everything, I'm going to be redoing quite a bit of that. But in the front is your rack and pinion. Let's go down here and look, and I'll show you how to remove. On a 2000 Ford Ranger, the way this one is set up is you have the rack and pinion is right up front. It's not inside the frame. It doesn't go through. It goes right in front. So quite literally, you pull off the bolts. There's one bolt that goes straight through here, and then one more goes straight through on this side. So on the bottom, you're going to take those two bolts off, which if they start spinning, you're going to have to hold this up here to get that off on both sides. Okay, your cooler is right up front, right on the rack and pinion. So you're going to end up having to remove that as well. Your tie rod ends, you unbolt here and pop it out, and then you can remove that tie rod end off of that side and off of this side, and then that basically leaves it free. Up inside here, I don't know, right up there is where the steering comes down. There's one bolt that goes through it right here. This bolt goes through, let me see if I can get a good picture of it. It's kind of hard to see it up in there. No, it's gonna be hard to see. I can show you on this one. The way that it's up in there is straight up like this, okay? Where this red cover is a shaft, and the steering arm comes out. There's a universal joint right above this, and then it turns and hooks onto this. Then that bolt I showed you goes straight through on the side right here. So you pull that bolt out, and then the steering arm will lift right off of it. So once you get that lifted off, you see there's two openings. Everything else is complete, okay? This right here is where the cooler is, right here across the front. So up here on the top, you've got the top hose goes up to the oil pump, and then you've got a hard line that comes down right there. It's to the bottom line there. Same as here, it's the bottom line. There's a hard line that goes from here and goes up to the pump. Pay attention to both of those, and those are the only two you're gonna have to pull off. Once you pull the bolts off the bottom of this whole thing will lift straight up. Let me get back a little bit. You can see where I am. I'm in the front. See, here's the bumper, and we're just going straight down right in the middle. You're gonna lift this straight up and it'll pop right out. Once you get that disconnected, those two hoses and this one over here at this end, lift it up and pop it out. I'm gonna do that right now. And I'm trying to do this with one hand. Okay, I popped it out. You see how the bolts came up and I pulled it forward. And I took the hoses and I tucked them back behind it. There's one behind it hanging there, and one right in the center of your screen. Right there, that's out. And then I'm gonna bring it down to the ground. Hang on. There we go. So I pulled it out and I set it on the ground. Right in front, right behind this one. I put it on top of that so I didn't get my concrete too dirty. Now what I'm going to do is on the top of this, there's a bolt here that's holding this on. That is not on this. Okay, you're going to have to use that same hardware. You're going to pull that big bolt straight out the top, right there. You're going to pull this bolt all the way through, out the top and out the top. That way you can put it onto the new one. Hang on. Your new one's going to have plugs. These plugs are going to be plugged in here. The reason they're in there is so nothing falls in here until you are ready to do this. Okay, I'm going to have to remove this other one right here. I've already got that one removed. That one's going to stay empty for now until I get it back up in there. But I'm going to take this one off here, and that goes around to here, and then this whole piece will be able to slide right out and bring it and put it back into these two holes here. See? Hang on. There you go. I got this pulled out. See, that one went in the top one right there. That's where I just pulled it out from. See, it's still dripping. There's the two bolts I said are going to come out of that one and that one. You're just going to slide this straight out like that, and you're going to bring it over here to the new one. And if you can do this with one hand, you're going to line them up and just drop them right back down in that one. Boom. You are almost done changing your rack and pinion. This is going to go back down. You're going to get it lined up. Get that started threaded. Hold, please. Alright, there's that. See, I got that one in right there, right on the top. Bolted that in. Got from this bolt to this bolt retightened up because I loosened that for no reason at all. And then I've got one more hose to put right here and one to put right there. That's the two that come off of the fuel pump. I mean, of the steering pump fuel pump. Jesus Christ. I'm trying to hurry. But anyway, there's two lines, and you can't get them wrong because one goes to here, it's a slide on, and one goes to there, that's a screw in. So let's go ahead and get this knocked out. All we got to do is pick this up and set it right back up on that cradle that's right in front. There we go. Set it back up in there. The two big bolts come through the bottom. You grab your nuts. I can't say that without laughing. You grab your big nuts and you get them hand threaded on just so it doesn't fall out. There we go. I got some on my hand. I can't let you slip this on there. That way you don't dribble it everywhere. We're gonna slip it on there. There, did I show you? Yeah, slide it right on there. And then we'll take this last one and we'll pick it up and over so that we can get it. This is really hard to do upside down. And then it's trying to zoom in. I can't see. Can you guys see? Put that in there for me. I got my finger over the freaking thing. There, right there. Is that where it goes? I can't see. This I'm gonna have to do by myself. But anyway, that goes back up into there. Hang on. Oh, I gotta press pause. Still not done. I've been working for like 5 minutes. Just trying to get that. Here, let me drop this real quick. There. Just trying to get this to thread into that. It won't go. So, I'm going to tell you a word of advice. What I'm doing right now is I went ahead and tightened up the big bolts on the underside. Both sides. This one and this one. Got those tightened up. That way it'll stop freaking moving on me. Be right back. Alright. Another 5 to 10 minutes later. All right. I don't know if that came through, but anyway, yeah. The lower one is finally in after I put a light and bolted those in and all that. So those are finally done. And then only thing left is I got to take this little squishy and push it over that. So then that will be done. Where's my pliers? Where's my pliers? I was going to grab my cheap ass pliers because they work. And I'm going to pinch this. If you really want to watch me do this. If not, this is be a good time to go use the bathroom. And boom, done. See that? That was so easy. So now the rack and pinion is almost in. There's one more thing up in here. You gotta pull this cap off now. And you'll see there's a on one side of this, freak, where's my finger at? On one side of that shaft, damn it, I can't see my finger. There it is. One side of this, there's a divot spot right in the side of it. So you got to take your steering arm, whatever it's called. Let me turn on the light. Get this shoved up in there. See that thing with the boot on it? On the end of it, there's a piece right here that's going to slide onto the top of that bolt. Then you got to get it in just the right spot, turning it back and forth for that bolt to slide right through it. Careful not to spin it all the way around because you're turning your steering wheel inside. So try to get it to where your steering wheel inside is still at the same spot. Otherwise, you're going to have an upside down steering wheel when you put it all back together. I'm going to tell you right now, you're going to have fun getting that bottom bolt in, like I said, and that bolt back into the steering part. You got to slide that back down over it, get it just right so it'll slide down onto it, and then it's still not, it might not go all the way down because of the resurfacing they did on these, on the new one. So you're going to have to work at it. You're going to have to find a way to tap it on the side and pull it down at the same time, and then try to get in from the side over here and push down on it. And when you least expect it, the bolt will go in just enough to start threading itself in. So there, the new rack and pinion is in. All the hoses are done. Next chance I get, I'll be putting the bump steer kit in. Now, if you're going back with these, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to count how many times it takes you to get this off of this arm. So count it, 1, 2, 3, 4, until it falls off, however many times, and then screw it back onto the new one that many times in, and then tighten it up, and then put it onto there. That'll get you really close to the alignment that it was at. And then you can take it to an alignment shop and finish the alignment. But that concludes this video, man. Those are, that took me a half an hour to 45 minutes just to get those two in, because I'm not a mechanic, so I don't know the secrets of getting those two bolts in easier. A mechanic would probably know that because he's done it more times. So the only other thing you have to do now is to try to bleed the lines to get fluid back through them. That one, I don't know. I haven't figured that out. I guess maybe put fluid in the top and cycle it back and forth, turn it back and forth a couple of times, add fluid, turn it back and forth a couple of times. That's the only thing I can think of. If there's a mechanic out there that can say otherwise, please comment in the comments. Let us all know how to do that. Mine's going to be up in the air for a few more weeks, several more weeks, so I really would appreciate if you guys could comment on that and let us know how to bleed that back in so we don't ruin our new rack and pinion. Again, thank you for watching. I'm just going to stay down here, right here in front of the fan. I really do appreciate all my fans. Seriously. Subscribe, comment. If you haven't already, comment. Thumbs up for finally getting on the Ranger, getting this done. The next, like I said, next video I do will more likely be the bump steer kit. That's going to be interesting. It's not a real hard kit to put in, so we'll see what that's like next time around. So stay tuned. See you guys. Peace out. Look at that. That's a Toyota Valence and a Mazda grill.